In the last episode of Project NC, I was a bit unkind to this car. I told you the 4 things I absolutely hate about the NC Miata. But you, me, and everyone else knows there's a lot more to love than there is to hate when it comes to Miatas. So in this episode of Project NC, I'm going to cover 4 things I absolutely love about the NC Miata. Start with something small, almost a Miata hack, if you will. One of the things that drove me absolutely nuts about my old Civic Si were the cold starts. They were brutally loud, and the header and 3-inch exhaust definitely didn't help things. And obviously, with my modified cars, I don't want to be persona non grata as far as my neighbors are concerned. I want to keep a low profile as much as I do enjoy a loud car when I'm out here in the canyons or at the track. You see, the cold start is intentional. Car manufacturers tune their cars to run really rich at startup to warm the cats up faster and keep the revs higher for the same purpose. And all cars do it to varying degrees. But some cars are more annoying than others. Anyone who owns a Subaru BRZ/Toyota GR86 knows exactly what I mean. Once you throw a loud exhaust or header on those cars, well, good luck. Interestingly, on my BMW 135i, you can tune it out. When you do ECU reflashes like the MHD flash, it's a toggle. You can turn it on or off, which is great. But Mazda has gone one step further ahead. There's a little factory hack in NC and ND Miatas. Before you switch the ignition on, put the gear shift into reverse, and then start the car. That will do a soft cold start. It'll keep the engine revs nice and low, and keep the car nice and quiet. But I think that's really gonna save my ass once I put the header and exhaust on this car, because again, when I'm up here, I want the car to be loud and fun and exciting. But I think with this quiet cold start mode, it really is gonna be that much nicer towards my neighbors. And again, towards my wife when I sneak out at 4 a.m. to do track days. It sounds trivial, I know, but it's so cool that the NC and ND Miatas both do this to some degree. And when you try to live with a sports car every day, it is the little things like that that really make the experience that much better. Oh, hi there. It's your boy, just checking in. Are you enjoying the video so far? Well, of course you are. That's because this is some grade A primo content we're talking about. So go ahead and show your support by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. It's free and it helps the channel. All right, back to the video. One thing Mazda's gotten right in every Miata is the soft top. Starting with the NC and carrying on into the ND, there's the option of a power folding hard top. It is a quieter alternative to a soft top and gives almost coupe-like sensibilities to the Miata in terms of NVH and refinement. But it's an option that I personally will always choose to skip. I always want the soft top experience because Mazda nailed it down so well. Ooh, repaved sections of Angeli's Crest, I love it. The soft top in an NC is a 3-second operation and makes an S2000 look painfully cumbersome by comparison. For the more coordinated drivers out there, it's also cool that you can do it with one hand if you're skilled enough. Though that should come as no surprise because Miata owners are known for doing great jobs with their hands. having that simplicity means that even I, the palest man on YouTube, drop the top in my NC all the time, even for short around town journeys. Miata wave. Thank you for letting me pass. The third thing I want to talk about when it comes to NC is the transmission. If you recall the first video I produced in this car, I specifically said I saw it out in NC2, the later model NC with the better engine and the stronger 6-speed transmission. It's also worth noting that some NCs had 5 speeds. And for me, more gears equals more fun, and this 6-speed is an absolute unit. In the typical Miata fashion, the clutch is perfect. Linear, nicely weighted, a breeze to use. A Miata is the perfect car to teach a manual transmission rookie how to drive stick because it's so easy and so fun. And in the same vein, the shifter on this 6-speed transmission is just delightful. It has this perfect weighting and feedback between each gear. It honestly feels like you're shaking hands with an old friend. And that's very comforting. And it just makes you want to go through the gears constantly, up, down, up, down, up, down. And that's what you end up doing to keep this buzzy little engine in the meat of the power band. The transmission is truly a delight. One of the best in the business, like every Miata out there. And I think that one of the NC is going to go down as one of the best Miata transmissions of all time. There's a reason why ND Miata owners are trying to buy these things up and swap them into their cars. It's more durable than the ND transmission and it handles power. So if you want to go fast in a straight line, the NC 6-speed, especially an NC2 or NC3, is the way to go. And man, I know I sound like a broken record, but it's just so good to go through the gears. Just like that. You'll notice there's a sort of cadence to this video. The items almost sort of interlink in a way if you think about it for a second. And this last one is no exception. It's the thought process. There's a whole philosophy behind the Miata, the MX-5, whatever you want to call it. I call it a Miata. It really is this philosophical change, a shift you experience when you get behind the wheel of one of these vehicles and really live with one for a long period of time. Or hell, even drive one for 5 minutes, you'll see why we're all having so much fun in these things and why Mazda sold over 1 million Miatas. This car is fundamentally meant to be fun to drive. And fun is an intangible. It's not a hard number or a metric. It's not like a 0 to 60 time or a horsepower figure. And I think that's why so few cars resonate with drivers the way that Miatas do. It's these intangibles that float around you as you drive down the road. This is a car that asks for very little of you. It's inexpensive. It's easy to park. It can even be economical if you want to drive it in such a way, though I don't know why you'd want to. But in return, it gives you so much. It's visceral by virtue of its agility. That knowledge that you don't have to brake for the next corner, that because this thing has nearly perfect weight distribution and it's so light, it'll breeze through the corners. It just feelsome in a way that few other cars truly are. Miatas are masterful conversationalists. They tell you interesting anecdotes about things like the texture of the road surface, all while intently listening to you, for better or for worse, building up that rapport with the driver. A Miata is one of the few cars where you're uniquely aware of what all 4 tires on the road are doing. A car can only do so much. It can only accelerate, brake, or steer so much, given the amount of grip the tires have. And in a Miata, you're acutely aware of where everything falls on that traction circle. And don't think for a second any of this is coincidental. Mazda engineers have coined it Jinba Itai, horse and rider as one. And when you get in this car and really drive it, you just get it. It's all of these subtleties that make up the driving experience and really do begin to change your whole thought process. These movements become rhythmic and intuitive. You enter this almost lucid state between consciousness and unconsciousness, where you're just driving the car perfectly. And the car is giving it right back to you just as much. It results in this sort of mechanical satisfaction that's difficult to replicate irrespective of price point. And it's one of the reasons why a Mazda Miata is more fun at 50 miles per hour than most supercars are at 150. It's also why I think the Mazda Miata is one of the best sports cars ever made. And I'll leave you with that. My name is Jake. You've been watching Drive, Brake, Fix, Repeat. And I'll see you guys next time, where I go to more fun things with cars. Bye.